The emergency alert came through at what you humans would call 0300 hours, and I nearly choked on my morning nutrient paste. Lieutenant Kravix here, by the way. 14 years of service with the Galactic Conservation Corps, specializing in extinction-level threat containment. I thought I had seen everything. Pirates trying to steal gravity wells. Check. Rogue AI attempting to digitize an entire moon. Been there. But this was something special. Sir, you need to see this, my subordinate Tillix gasped, her respiratory slits flaring with what I could only describe as horrified fascination. She pulled up the holographic display, and there it was. A human. Broadcasting. Live. From the surface of Krevalon 5. For those of you not familiar with galactic geography, Krevalon 5 is what we in the business call a, do not even think about it planet. Class Omega threat level. The entire world is essentially a nature preserve for the Drakthar, a species so catastrophically dangerous that 17 civilizations went extinct, just trying to study them from orbit. We are talking about creatures that evolved in a gravity well 3 times standard, breathe methane, and consider starship hull plating a light snack, and this human, this absolute lunatic, was trying to climb onto one. Is this real? I demanded. Unfortunately, yes sir. The broadcast is coming from his neural implant. 30 million viewers across 12 systems and counting. 30 million. Of course. Humans and their entertainment obsessions. The video quality was remarkable, I had to admit. Crystal clear, despite the electromagnetic interference from Krevalon's upper atmosphere. The human male, maybe 30 standard years old, was crouched behind a rock formation that glowed an ominous purple in the planet's triple sunset. He was whispering into his recording device, and the translation matrix picked up his words with perfect clarity. Okay guys, so I know what you are thinking. Marcus, you absolute moron, that is a Drakthar. You are going to die. And you know what? You might be right. But here is the thing. He paused for effect, and I swear I could hear the grin in his voice. Nobody has ever ridden one before. Tillix made a sound like a deflating atmospheric regulator. He cannot be serious. Oh, he was serious. Deadly serious, if you will pardon the expression. The Drakthar in question was approximately 40 meters long, covered in biometallic scales that shifted through colors I did not have names for. 6 legs, each ending in claws that could shear through diamond. A tail that had been documented splitting small asteroids. And a head that was all teeth and malevolence, with sensory organs that could detect a heartbeat from 3 kilometers away. It was currently sleeping, if you could call the restless twitching of an apex predator sleep. We need to extract him, I said, already moving toward the command console. Get a stealth shuttle prepped, and sir, there is a complication. Of course there is, I muttered. He filed the proper documentation. Extreme sports permit, signed liability waivers, even paid the planetary trespass fine. Technically, he has legal authorization to be there. I stared at Tillix. She stared back. He filled out forms. I said slowly. To ride a Drakthar? Yes sir. Very thorough forms, actually. His lawyer is apparently quite good. This was getting better and better. On screen, Marcus was now providing what he called educational content about the Drakthar's biology. Half of it was wildly inaccurate. The other half was classified information that should not have been accessible to civilians. Where did he even get that data? So these bad boys can survive in the vacuum of space for up to 6 hours, Marcus whispered, creeping closer to the sleeping nightmare. They have redundant organs, a distributed nervous system, and their blood is literally acidic enough to melt through most known metals. Also, fun fact. They are hermaphroditic, and only reproduce when they feel existentially threatened. Which, you know, makes me wonder what I should do if this goes wrong. Should I be threatening? Or soothing? Anyway, comment below with your thoughts. He is asking for viewer participation, Tillix said faintly. The view count was now at 45 million. Marcus was carrying what appeared to be a saddle. An actual saddle, custom made from what my sensors identified as woven titanium mesh with neural dampening fibers. Somebody had put thought into this. Engineering. Resources. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. This human had planned this insanity. All right chat, moment of truth, Marcus said, and I could hear his breathing quicken. Fear response or adrenaline? With humans, it was always hard to tell. Often both. If this works, I am going to try steering it toward the northern ravines. Beautiful views there. If it does not work, well, remember me fondly. And subscribe to my channel, the ad revenue goes to my sister. He is monetizing this, I said to nobody in particular. The Drakthar's tail twitched. One eye, the size of a cargo shuttle viewport, slowly opened. Multifaceted. Glowing. Fixed directly on Marcus, every threat assessment alarm in my body was screaming. This was it. This was how humans went extinct. Death by stupidity, broadcast live across known space. I should have been making calls, filing reports, preparing explanations for my superiors. Instead, I watched. We all watched. Marcus did not run. He should have. Any sane being would have. But he just stood there, saddle in hand, and did something that still haunts my nightmares. He smiled. Hey buddy, he said softly. Gorgeous morning, is it not? You are probably wondering what I am doing here. So here is the thing. I read somewhere that you guys can sense fear. Like, really sense it. Pheromones or electrical fields or something. And I figured, you know what? Maybe that is the problem. Maybe everybody who has ever approached you has been terrified. Respectfully terrified, sure, but still terrified. The Drakthar's head lifted. Slowly. Deliberately. 6 more eyes opened along its skull. All focused on the tiny, fragile human standing before it. Me though. I am not scared of you, Marcus said, and the lie detector built into my console immediately flagged that statement as false. His heart rate was elevated, stress hormones flooding his system. He was absolutely terrified, but his voice did not shake. And that smile never wavered. I am not scared, Marcus repeated, louder this time. Because I know something about you that the scientists do not. Something none of their reports mention. You are smart. Really smart. And smart creatures. They appreciate respect. They appreciate boldness. He took a step forward. Then another. The Drakthar made a sound like tectonic plates grinding together. A warning. A challenge. Both? I want to see your world from your perspective, Marcus said, now close enough to touch the creature. I want to understand what it is like to be the most powerful thing on this entire planet. And I think, maybe, you are curious too. About me. About my species. About why some idiot would willingly walk up to you with a saddle and a dream. My hands were gripping the console so hard my manipulators ached. Marcus reached out. Slowly. Carefully. His hand made contact with the Drakthar's scaled hide. Nothing happened. 0.5 seconds passed. Then 10. Then the Drakthar lowered its head. Just slightly. Just enough, and Marcus, that beautiful insane impossibility of a being, laughed. Oh, this is going to be amazing, he said. The view count hit 70 million as he began to climb. I want you to understand something about the next 14 minutes. In my entire career with the Galactic Conservation Corps, I have witnessed 3 planetary evacuations, 2 dimensional rifts, and 1 incident involving a sentient black hole that I am still not cleared to discuss. None of that, absolutely none of it, prepared me for watching Marcus actually get that saddle onto the Drakthar. This is not happening, I said for maybe the 15th time. The telemetry confirms it is definitely happening, sir, Tillix replied, her voice climbing octaves I did not know her species could produce. The saddle clicked into place, magnetic locks engaging with the Drakthar's metallic scales. Marcus strapped himself in with the casual efficiency of someone buckling up for an atmospheric shuttle ride, not mounting a creature that had a documented kill count of 4,000 sentient beings. Okay chat, we are locked and loaded, Marcus announced, patting the Drakthar's neck like it was a domesticated riding animal. Now comes the fun part. How do you steer something that has never been steered before? The answer is, and I cannot stress this enough, very carefully. The Drakthar stood. Fully extended, it was even more terrifying than the database images suggested. 43 meters of weaponized evolution, every muscle fiber visible beneath the biometallic plating, each movement generating enough kinetic energy to pulverize rock. And there was Marcus, perched on top like some ancient human conqueror from their violent history files, grinning like he had just won the galactic lottery. You know what nobody tells you about Drakthars? Marcus said conversationally, as if having a chat over beverages instead of sitting atop an extinction engine. They purr. Like, actually purr. It sounds like a fusion reactor warming up, but it is definitely purring. He was right. My sensors picked up a low-frequency vibration emanating from the creature. Pleasure response. Contentment. The xenobiologists were going to lose their collective minds analyzing this footage, assuming we all survived to show them. All right buddy, let us take a walk, Marcus said, doing something with the reins he had attached to the saddle. Nice and easy. Just want to see the sights, maybe grab some breakfast. You eat starship metal, right? Pretty sure I saw a crashed probe about 2 kilometers north. We can check it out together. The Drakthar moved, not attacking. Not bucking. Not incinerating the presumptuous mammal who dared sit atop it. It just started walking, smooth and controlled, heading exactly where Marcus had indicated. Sir, I am reading impossible neural synchronization patterns, Tillix reported, frantically working her console. The human is somehow interfacing with the Drakthar's distributed nervous system through the saddle. But that should not be possible. Human neural architecture is completely incompatible with Drakthar biology. The electrical variance alone should have fried his implant and probably most of his brain. Should not does not seem to apply to this species, I muttered, watching the view counter climb past 90 million. My communication panel lit up. Incoming calls from the Galactic Council, 3 different news networks, the Department of Xenobiological Studies, and somehow, inexplicably, a human entertainment agent offering exclusive broadcast rights. I ignored them all. Marcus was now narrating his ride like he was giving a tour of a botanical garden instead of potentially triggering an extinction-level incident. So the terrain here is really something else, guys. You have your standard methane ice formations, obviously, but look at those crystalline structures over there. Those are naturally occurring superconductors. The Drakthar uses them to navigate, kind of like your GPS, but, you know, cooler and made of rocks. The view shifted as the Drakthar crested a ridge, and suddenly we could see the full expanse of Crevellon's northern hemisphere. Purple skies, 3 suns casting impossible shadows, valleys that glowed with bioluminescent flora that could kill you if you breathed near them. It was breathtaking. Literally, the atmosphere would kill most species in under 30 seconds. Marcus was taking selfies. "This is for you, Mom," he said, holding up his recording device to capture himself with the alien landscape behind him. "Told you that xenobiology degree would be useful. You said I should have gone into accounting. Well, guess what? Accountants do not get to ride Drakthars. He has a xenobiology degree," I said weakly. Tillix pulled up his file. "Advanced degrees in 3 separate fields, actually. Xenobiology, extreme environment survival, and something called stunt coordination. Sir, this human is not just insane. He is educated insane. That is so much worse." She was not wrong. The Drakthar suddenly stopped, head swiveling toward something in the distance. Every one of its sensory organs focused on a point beyond my visual range. Marcus tensed. "Okay, so we have company. Probably another Drakthar based on those seismic readings. This is either going to be really cool or really, really bad. No middle ground here, folks. Pull him out," I ordered. "Now. This is about to turn territorial, and when Drakthars fight, they level mountains." "Sir, he signed waivers," Tillix reminded me helplessly. "I do not care about his waivers. I care about the 12 research stations on this planet that will be collateral damage." But even as I spoke, I knew it was too late. The second Drakthar emerged from a canyon, larger than the first, covered in scars that told stories of hundreds of battles. An elder. A territorial dominant, this was it. This was where the entertainment ended and the tragedy began. The 2 creatures regarded each other. The air itself seemed to vibrate with potential violence. Marcus was very, very still, his hands steady on the reins, his breathing controlled. "Easy," he whispered. "We are not here to fight. We are just passing through. Just 2 guys, taking a morning stroll. Nothing threatening about that, right?" The elder Drakthar made a sound like a supernova collapsing. A challenge. A question. A statement of dominance, and Marcus, that impossible human, threw back his head and laughed, not nervous laughter. Not scared laughter. Genuine, delighted laughter that echoed across the alien valley. "You are magnificent," Marcus shouted. "Absolutely incredible. Look at you. Those scars are amazing. Each one tells a story, does it not? Battles won, territory claimed, probably ate a few spaceships along the way. You are like a walking history of this entire planet." The elder paused. "He is complimenting it," Tillix said, disbelief thick in her voice. "He is facing down a creature that could swallow him whole, and he is giving it compliments." "Respect," I said suddenly, understanding. He is showing respect. Not submission. Not fear. Just genuine respect. Marcus continued, his voice carrying that same easy confidence. "We are not here to challenge you, friend. My buddy here and I, we are just tourists. Appreciating the view. Admiring the locals. Maybe I will write a review. 5 stars, would definitely visit again, scenery gorgeous, locals terrifying, but surprisingly reasonable." The elder Drakthar made another sound. Different this time. Almost like a question. Marcus's Drakthar responded with a series of low-frequency pulses. They were communicating. Right there. Right in front of us. 2 members of a species that had never been successfully studied, never been domesticated, never been anything except kill-on-sight threats. Talking. And somehow, miraculously, the elder stepped aside. "Thank you," Marcus said, actually bowing slightly in the saddle. "Truly. It has been an honor. If you are ever in human space, look me up. I know some great places to eat. Well, places where you could eat the buildings, but still." He guided his Drakthar forward, past the elder, down the ridge, and into the valley beyond. The view count hit 130 million. Sir, Tillix said quietly. I think we just witnessed first contact. Peaceful first contact. With Drakthars. I could not speak. Could not process what I had seen. Marcus rode for another hour, narrating the entire time, pointing out geological features, discussing Drakthar behavior patterns with surprising accuracy, taking calls from his sister who apparently thought this was only mildly more dangerous than his usual hobbies. Finally, as Crevalon's suns began to set, he guided his Drakthar back to the landing zone where his ship waited. He dismounted with the same care he had shown mounting, removing the saddle, storing it away. He pressed his hand against the Drakthar's hide one last time. Thank you, he said softly. For trusting me. For showing me your world. I will never forget this. The Drakthar made that purring sound again. Then it turned and walked back into the wilderness, disappearing into the purple twilight. Marcus faced his recording device one final time. So that happened, he said, still grinning. Humans can ride Drakthars. Update your threat assessment databases accordingly. This is Marcus Vale, signing off from Crevalon 5. Remember to like, subscribe, and maybe do not try this at home. Or do. I am not your supervisor. Live your dreams, people. The broadcast ended. I sat in silence for a long moment. Sir. Tillix ventured. Should we file a report? I looked at her. Then at my console. Then at the communication requests that had climbed into the thousands. File it under humanity, I said finally. Because that is the only category that makes sense anymore. Somewhere in the galactic database, next to the entry for humans, I added a new note: threat level, unclear. Sanity level, questionable. Survival instinct, apparently optional. Ability to make friends with extinction-level predators, concerning. Recommended response: maintain respectful distance and try not to bet against them. 150 million beings had watched a human ride a Drakthar, and somehow, impossibly, everyone survived. That was the day I stopped being surprised by humans. That was the day I learned that sometimes, the most dangerous thing in the galaxy is not the apex predator. It is the idiot who decides to ride it and makes it look fun.